Hi, it's Cindy Fodor here with Stamp the Love, and it's Make It Monday. And this week is our class version, so I am not live, I'm streaming to you. But I still appreciate if you leave comments because I come back and look at them. I'll answer them, and if you have questions, I will try to get back to you. If you need something, I can PM it to you or send it to you or whatever. So I just want to remind you of a couple things before we get started. I do have until, let's see, we have 3 more days that you can register for my birthday Stamp-A-Stack using the, I'm going to forget what it's called, something blooms. Oh my goodness, wonderful blooms, memorable blooms. There you go. Bundle. And just trying to see if I can show you them. I was like, the lighting is bad. So you can only see it over here. Let me just scoot the light here a second so that you can see. So this lighting is terrible. I'm just not going to show them to you during the class. So I just want to, they are just so fun and beautiful. And they do use blends I use to do all the coloring. You get a lot of stuff with it. The class fee mostly is, I think it's $49, and most of it is in supplies. It doesn't cover all the time I took to cut everything out, and everything is cut. The video's done, the PDF is done. I am ready to send this out as soon as the 13th gets here. So I might have to order some product for you, but I do have some on order right now. So anyways, as soon as that gets here, I'll be ready to send these out. Anyways, so like I said, I have at least 2 more spots, and that might be it. I have to check for sure, but let me know if you're interested. $49 gets you 2 of each of those 6 cards, so that's 12 cards. You get the PDF, you get the video, you get all the supplies, you get a pack, half a pack of Shades and Use designer paper. You get a half a pack of the vellum printed paper, not vellum, ombre glimmer paper, sorry. You get a roll of the ribbon, which is low inventory or very soon out of stock. And there's something, all the gems. You get the low profile gems, brand new. Okay? So it's a lot of stuff that you get with this class. So grab a spot, message me right away if you want a spot, because like I said, there's maybe 2 left. It could be 3, but I think it might just be 2. Okay, so one other thing, we have about 2 weeks left, maybe 2.5 weeks left for you to register for our retreat. The retreat is April 3 through 6 in Rhodes Grove. You can choose to come for the whole time. You can just choose to come Saturday and enjoy all the benefits of the retreat, people, all the gifts. We play bingo Saturday night. We also offer classes Thursday, Friday, and Saturday that are optional. You can sign up for those. We just have a lot of fun, and we have a lot of new people joining us this year or this spring. So I'm so excited about that. And yeah, we are busy getting all of the gifts ready. We don't do as many gifts as we used to because the cost to go to the retreat has gone up. And so we reduced our cost so that you would not have those fees. But we still like to pamper you and do special things for you. So we try to, we overdo it maybe just a little. But anyways, join us. It's really fun. Let's stamp. Okay? Okay, we are doing Valentine card this month, and hopefully we'll finish the classes this week before Valentine's Day so that you have your card to send. I want to introduce you to the products that I'm using for this. So there is a suite called the Marbled Elegance Suite. Excuse me. And it's got this beautiful marbled paper in it. It has these this bundle with the dies. It's called Hearts of Elegance. Give me a second. Okay, and then I am also using the Be My Valentine stamp set. because it's got hearts in it. It has some sayings in it where it's got the Happy Valentine's Day. I actually bought the hearts, the heart dies, and I didn't get the stamp set. Now, I do want to tell you that while I said this is all part of a suite, the suite is not available because there are two things in it that aren't available. And that's these heart sequins that are fabulous. And I saw they're not going to be back until March 24th, as is, I believe, the cord. This is called, I wanted to tell you what this is called, Gold Twisted Thread. And it's very pretty. It's also on the not ordered list, and it will be back around the 24th of March, I believe. So, but the paper, fortunately, the marbled paper is back. It hasn't been available for a bit, but yes, it should be available. The other thing that I pulled out was these Celebrate Love Mix and Match, excuse me, ephemera pack. And I thought if you don't have a heart, or Valentine sayings, there's sayings on here. There's great little pieces that you can use. Really pretty pop out pieces, different hearts, shapes, and things like that. And I thought that if we needed, we could use those. Okay, so let's get started. I also used an embossing folder. So the colors, I just pulled out the colors that are in the designer paper. And there's quite a few different sheets with this gold running through it. And the colors are real red and whatever this pink is. Oh my goodness. Melon Mambo. My brain. So let me just get this front put together, and then we'll do a little bit of stamping. We're going to put the Melon Mambo on the pink, which typically I would never use together. But if they can do it in the designer paper, that means it's okay to do. Hold on one second. I just realized that whatever I did when I folded this card, it was not straight. Let's get that fixed first. Okay. Try again, Cindy. Wow, that works so much better. Okay, and then I just cut a piece of this to be, let me see, 2.5 by probably 4. 2.5 by 3 3/4, because I wanted it to be a little bit smaller than so that you would see the pink layer. Otherwise, what was the use putting it on, right? And then this embossed piece, I will go ahead and put adhesive the whole way across, because you know I like to make sure that it's not going to buckle up on the card. And this is cut the same as the one below. Okay, and then I've got my piece from the Nested Essentials dies for our greeting. Let me put this aside for a second and we'll get that stamped. Pull on my mat, and we're going to use gold embossing powder. Don't forget to use your embossing buddy. And if you don't have this, it comes with the embossing toolkit. It comes in that along with these tools, and then you just have to get your powder and your embossing ink. So this is from the Be My Valentine, Be My Valentine with the bees stamp set. Go ahead and use the little tweezers. I did have my heat gun all heated and ready to go. There's a little mark there for some reason, and I'm wondering if there was some... Oh, it is supposed to be on there. Never mind. Let's get some more powder on there. That looks better. Okay, I was going to wipe that off thinking it was a mistake. All right, I'm just going to pull some scrap paper in here. Well, I'll get my heat gun pushed on the whole way. See that changing? Notice that I'm not going like this. I just hold it in place and slowly move it around once I see the change happening, because that way I can make sure I've got all of it done at the same time. All right, so now we can put that on, and I glued that just flat to the front. We'll pop up the heart. If I put that down there far enough. Did I do with my heart? I'm not wearing it on my sleeve. All right, isn't that pretty with that pattern in it? I think that's what sold me on these dies. I just loved that it had different patterns on these hearts. They weren't just plain, which is, sometimes you need a plain heart die cut, but this worked perfect for this card that I wanted to do. And then I have my bow already tied. We'll just grab a glue dot here, and because it's a thread, I'm going to try to just get this to roll over itself a little bit. There we go. Then we can stick that right on there. And that way it's not going to show so much. And we're almost done with the front of this card. That's how quick and easy it is. We are going to add some of these cute sequins. And I'm just going to pop that under there. Ta-da! There's actually three different sizes on here, I believe. I have another set somewhere here. Where is it? There's at least two sizes, the larger and the smaller. Okay, now let's do the inside. We don't want to skip that part because we want to say Happy Valentine's. Now on mine, I used the one from So Sincere. Says, knowing you brings joy to my heart, because you might not want to send this to your sweetheart. You might want to send it to a friend. So I thought that was a nice one for a friend. However, I need one for my honey. So let me grab the ink pads here. We're going to pull out the Melon Mambo and the Real Red to match. And I'm going to do, these are hearts from, again, the Be My Valentine, the B set. I'll do the big heart in pink. And I like this little set of 3 hearts. I don't know if you can see that. Little set of 3 hearts. And we'll do that here. Really, when you stamp these, it's very difficult to see the difference between the red and the Melon Mambo. That's crazy, isn't it? And yet in the paper, you realize there's a huge difference. And for this, I want to pull out, let's see, I think I already did. You'll Always Be the One for Me. And I have that laying here somewhere, this one. You'll Always Be the One for Me. Of course, that's got the B on it, so yeah. All right, so that's it for my inside. I just have to sign it, and it's ready to go. And I already have my candy bought. All right. Happy Valentine's Day. Okay. I introduced this card with the whole set of Spring Corners a few weeks ago on my Make It Monday. So you can catch that whole video showing you all these different cards that I did. And I think I showed you how to do this, but I'm going to do it again just because it's easier than trying to find software so that I can edit out that part of my video. And so I'm going to use the Wishing You an Amazing Day from this corner stamp set. And I'm going to ink that in Tuxedo Memento Black. I'm having issues seeing if it's inked. There we go. I think stamping on crumb cake is a little tricky because it's not a smooth, it's not like our basic. So I want to make sure that's inked really good. I'm going to hold that down for a few seconds. Make sure all the ink gets off of it. Ta-da! Perfect. Now, I have a great pen here. I couldn't find my markers that we used to sell for journaling. So I'm going to add just some little swirly, like hand-drawn. And all I'm doing is adding little hash marks. And then the same, we're going to do the same here. Let's go ahead and I'll just do it from this angle. And again, we'll do hash marks there. Now, I measured the designer paper that I have on here, but I wanted to stamp it again and give it a second measurement before I cut my paper. So 3 inches. Yeah, I think this is 3 by 2 1/8. And that's the perfect size that I need. Good. I just wanted to make sure, because sometimes when you make a card without planning ahead, it turns out different than you need it. But anyways, let's see, what did I say? 2 1/8. Let's cut this at 2 1/8. And then we'll cut this at 3. And I'll finish cutting the ones I need for class later. And I did cut some little strips of black. Just took some scraps and trimmed down an edge. Let me get rid of this. Before I stick this down, I just want to cut this to size. Let's see, my scissors are here. Hold it this way. I'm hoping I can get 2 out of each of those. Now, let me just put this cutter away before I end up sending it flying. Alright, so we'll put that on there. And I'm just going to use, I was going to use liquid glue, but I think I took it out for my class. I took all of my liquid glue out for my classes last week. My party that I had for my church friends and their daughters. We had so much fun. We made 2 cards, and then they got to choose one of our kits and make a card from one of the kits. And I think once people touch those kits, they realize how much fun they are. Everybody wanted to get a kit, which I think is so cool. I don't feel like I have that straight. I feel like my yellow piece isn't straight. Let me see if I can fix that, and then we'll have to fix this black piece as well. If you twist it, it comes up a little bit easier. Let me see if I can make this parallel to that edge a little better than I did. And then let me pull this off of here and stick that back down. Let's see, that's so much better. Okay, one more thing we need to stamp, and that's this little, they look like little wildflowers. And we're putting that just on the circle die from this set. And I'm going to pop that up with the dimensional. Now we have some new online exclusives coming next month. I was able to order them. We can pre-order those often. And anyways, just to say that we have some black gems coming out. Some, I think they're called neutrals. So there's different colors, but there's black in there. And I'm very excited about that. But until that, we're going to make some black gems out of these transparent adhesive back dots. Looks like I've already colored some there, so let's just go ahead and use those. I colored them with my Sharpie, and I'm just going to pop that there. You have to color them while they're on here so that you can get the edges. And I'll stick one of those there. Now, we have to do one more thing. We have to get this inside done. Now, this inside piece does not need to be cut. This was an accident. I had my helper die cut these instead of these. So I ended up having to cut all of these. But we have a really pretty pattern for the inside, so that's just a plus, right? And again, I don't have my liquid glue, so I'm just going to pop a little bit of adhesive in some of those little spots there. And the reason you need this is because of the cutout that's on the front. So that you can, oops, that was dumb. I forgot I can't put that there. Hold on one second. Let me get where's my adhesive eraser? Where are you? The ugly gooey things. Where are they when you need them? Here we go. Okay, now I just want to add just a little bit of glue right at the edge of that so it doesn't show through my window. There we go. Now we fixed it. Okay, so that we're finished with that one. Okay, this card is our celebration card using the celebration stamp set called Friendly Seagulls. And I think I showed you this card, but I had stamped the seagulls right on this white paper, and I decided to cut them out, and oh my goodness, I love the difference that makes. So let me show you how I did this real quick. We're going to first do our background. So I punched out one of our cloud punches, and if you have a cloud die from Adventurous Skies, that might even be better. Or I think when I did this, I just tore paper myself, and when I did the first sample, and did it that way. So you can do however you want, or you can just sponge Pool Party on the whole sky. Now I'm sponging Pool Party, but the color of paper that I'm using as a background is Lost Lagoon because they go so nicely together. So that should work. I'm going to just use this and move it around, get some different cloud looks on here. And I could even turn it around possibly this way if I needed to. And I'm going to fill in, I'm going to go over where the white parts were because you'll still be able to see that. And it just softens everything. Let's do one more down here. Now I'm just going to go ahead and fill it in a little bit. I'm going to let it come to a light area, and then I'm just going to take my scrap paper, and I want to create an ocean, and you could even put some of these as little waves on the ocean if you wanted to. Let's try that once and see what that looks like. Oops. Don't move your scrap paper. Alright, so let me just keep this here. Looks like I'm a little crooked. And I'm just going to fill this in because this is all water. Okay, so finish that little, I don't think I would do the cloud thing down here for the waves, but I don't think it looks terrible. Now, I took the plank embossing folder and embossed little pieces of pecan pie paper. And then I took our old sponge with some early espresso, and I just went over the top to grab some of that raised embossing. Okay, I already did this one, but I'll just go back over it a little bit. All right, see how, I don't know if you can see that, but it just really brings out the green. Okay, now next we're going to attach them to here after we put our rope on top. Now I'm using I am using tear and tape to get that rope to stick. So I'm just going to put little pieces on the back of this near the top. do both of these. And you can use any type of twine that you have. I am using the In Color twine that I believe it was on the clearance list, I think. So I'm not sure if it's available anymore, but it was a great find. And I really like it. It's the In Colors that are going to be going out this year. Unfortunately, I'm going to be very, very sad. This is Pebbled Path, and I love that color. So that would be a good segue for me to tell you that if you need any of those In Colors before they are gone, because that list will come out next month, and when it comes out, Stampin' Up! No longer orders stock of that. And so you will, if you need refills or, just cardstock stash to have, get it now. Get it during celebration. It's a great time. You can get free stuff like this great seagull set. All right, so I'm going to wrap that around 3 times. I'm going to bring it back here and stick it to that sticky mess that I made. And voila. Do the same on this one. Catch it on here. This tear and tape is good and sticky, and it's going to hold really well for you. Okay, we just cut this one, and then we will get this put together. All right, I'm gonna just set this aside. Let me put our base on. Oh, I wanted to tell you, I am opening this the tall way, so this is 4 1/4 by 11, or I guess I should say 11 by 4 1/4. Scored at 5 1/2. And then we can go ahead and put this piece on. I'm making a mess here. Just throwing things around. Okay, let's go ahead and stick these guys on. And I did pop these up with dimensionals just because there's all this fullness behind here, and it's going to need something to support that. So the best way to do these edges will be with a piece from the edge. So we can put a little bit up here at the top as well. Go ahead and peel all of those off. I don't have a good way to hang on to those while I'm peeling them. Okay, this one's ready to go, and we'll just stick that right here in the corner. I'm going to be covering up the weight in the corner, so I didn't sponge over that way too much. And then we need one more piece for the top of this. Coming together. You can even overlap this a little bit if you want to. All right, now let's stamp our seagulls. Let's see, do I have them out here? No, I don't have them out yet. I use the one with the big mouth, going this way, and I'll put one on either end there. Now I'm trying to use scrap paper for this, so I am going to pull in my mat though, because these are photopolymer. I couldn't remember if I needed it for that. And we're going to use black because we're going to color with the markers, the blends. I think this is wide enough for this one. And I think I need a wider piece. Let's see. Maybe this one for this guy here. Okay. There we go. Okay. Don't need a lot of blends. I'm just putting a little gray. We're going to use our color lifter because I'm going to pull in some scrap paper though, because when you use that color lifter, especially, that color really sinks through. I'm going to put a little bit of light smoky slate here on his belly, both of them, and some on this one. And then I'm just going to use the color lifter, the bullet tip, and just work that color out a bit. It's basically just adding alcohol and whatever element is with it. And it just makes the color sink through to the back and spreads it out a little bit. And you actually want to don't do as much as you think you need to do, because it will take a little time and it will really sink out of there. While we're waiting for that to settle and get the correct color and see if we like that, we're going to go ahead and put some smoky slate. I'm just using the light again. And then we'll grab, I'm probably just going to use the dark Lemon Lolly. It's actually pretty bright for as light as the color itself is when you see the ink in the cardstock. All right, and then we need the little feet. Okay. All right, you can see I got that a little too wet there, and what happened is that color ran to the outside of his body. I'm going to be cutting that off so it's not a big deal, but once that's dry, I can get rid of it. I don't know if it's dry enough. Let me just try. I'll just bring this along here, and again, not do too much because I don't want more color to leak out or spread. It doesn't leak, but it will spread through the alcohol. And I'll let that for a second. Let's go ahead and get these cut out, and we can get those onto our card. Now you can leave as much detail as you want. I actually cut up in here and got rid of the white inside, just because if I'm going to cut a piece out, it might as well be like mostly cut out. You can leave that in if you like, depending on how much you sponged your card. If it's more white behind, it's not going to show. If you added a lot of blue, it will show a little bit more. So that might be a little deterrent to sponging heavily when you put your pool party on there. This is the guy with the big mouth. He's looking for some. When we went to Chincoteague, the seagulls were such a menace when the boys were fishing. They would always steal their bait. But the little ones did love chasing them. Such good memories we had. We used to go to Chincoteague about every summer with Joel's family, and a family friend had a cottage down there, and we would get down and stay with them. And then as our families got bigger, it just didn't work, and then they got rid of their place, and so we didn't have a place to go anymore, so we didn't go as often. I'm going to come back and do this one more time, and I think that should be good. Let's go ahead and, oh, this is the one with the big mouth. The other one had his mouth open, but this one's like he's saying something. He's ready to pounce on those fries or whatever you left on the beach. I don't know why I say on the beach, because we have seagulls around here all the time now. It seems there's a lot more seagulls on land as opposed to just at the ocean. I think they got confused. Or maybe it's just the winters were warmer or something, that they... You can see how I'm just turning my paper as opposed to trying to move my scissors. That's what the key is to ease with fussy cutting. He looks like he's ready to dance. He's got his leg up in the air. Oh my goodness. Okay. I'm going to do the two-step. We're almost done. Yay. If you want to see what this looked like without these popped up, you can go back to the video where I showed this whole set and showed a bunch of samples with it, because I did not cut these out and pop them up on that card. And oh my goodness, I love the difference that it makes. Let's put some dimensionals here. I'll put a big one and a piece of one here. Now, what I did was I put a little bit of green glue on the feet, just so they weren't like sticking up in the air. Let me see if I can get this glue going here. And you can actually glue them to the top of the piling here, if you want to. Again, we'll get a little green glue on there. Here we go. Now, one thing that I did was I needed some birds, and there were no birds in this set, little birds, little flying birds. So I just took a pen or a Sharpie and just created my own birds. I feel nervous, like freehanding. Freehanding is so scary, isn't it? Well, if I can get the pen to work, that would be helpful. Anyway, something like that. It was much easier, much less scary doing it when it was just on my card and nobody was watching me. All right, and then we have to stamp our Hey Friend, and this comes from the set as well. And it says, I love you more than French fries. You can put fries or chips, because in Europe they're called chips. I think that's correct. I'm going to just put this on here. You can stamp it in espresso or black, whichever you want to stamp it in. And I maybe should put it on here so I don't make a huge mess. And then we're going to add dimensionals to that as well. I'm making this really easy card seem very difficult, ain't I? All right, there we go. And I actually tried to draw a little sailboat down there on the water. I'm not going to do that for you today. You can find a little stamp or something to use for that if you want to. All right, that is it for that card. Okay, finally we have this card. This is one of the cards from my January Fun Fold class. So you're going to get to do this one. It's a little different. Use some different colors. But that's what it looks like. And I just realized that I need to grab another block here. So to get started, we have our base, which is Daffodil Delight, and it's 5.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. So we have, that makes the front flap. We're going to go ahead and put all of our papers on first, and then we'll do the stamping. How's that sound? So let's put, this goes on the front flap of the Daffodil Delight piece. I want to cover up that accidental score mark I made there. And then Put the green piece back on the back flap. So all with a little 1/8 inch border. And then we have this piece, which is 10.5 by 3.5, a quarter, 3 1/4, I'm sorry. And it is scored at 2, 3, 5.5, and 8. Okay. And we're going to go ahead and put pieces on here and do some stamping on here. And then we'll stick this on to our card. This color goes on this folded in flap. This will be the first thing you see when you open the card. Is this pretty design. Okay, I'm having to re-record portions of this because they were completely missing. That's always fun. Okay, I'm going to show you how to stamp the two-step Forsythia flower. And I put, I don't know if you can see it, there's a little black mark I put up at the top of my stamp here because I get frustrated trying to think how this matches up every single time. And I have a black mark up here, so that means that goes up to that end as well. And to that flower, I think. See if I can get this to line up here without getting my head in the way. Now this is just tone on tone, but I don't know if you can see it, but you can see the darker goes over top of it and makes it look like a two-tone. And then we're going to use some Granny Apple Green for the stem. And it's a little tricky to figure out how this lines up. But I know because the branches are going up where you'd see flowers come off, they're going up that way. So I know that it goes up this direction. And then I just fit it in between these flowers here. Perfect. That was lucky. And then this one is the little leaves that go on here. And they come right off of that stem or right off of the flowers. So the top and the bottom one come off the stems up here and here. And the other ones come out from the flowers there. Okay, so that's how you stamp that one. And then while we have this open, we're going to stamp the happy birthday inside of here. Put that right in here. And then there's a little leaf that I want to put here as well. You can put 1 or 2 of those on here, whatever you want to do. I got a fuzz on there. Okay, now let's look at the front of this. I'm not going to show you everything else here, but I layered the 2 layers of flowers and the 2 layers of leaves together here. And I don't know if you saw the part where I cut apart the stamp that said, "You a happy birthday," because the wishing you a happy birthday. So the UA is here, and then of course the happy birthday's inside. So I stamped the UA here. And I glued, where did I put that now? I glued the wishing. I used our adhesive sheets for this, so we put that on before we cut it, which meant that everything had adhesive on. But I took the embossing buddy and just tapped it onto these areas that are overlapping because I don't want them to stick to anything, and that takes the sticky away. So then I was able to put this on here and not have it stick down where I didn't want it to stick. Okay, and then it opens like this. Now, in putting this on here, I do want to just show you one thing. Let me just get to the front of this. So I'm going to dump that off. This is the front fold, and this is the piece with the yellow vellum one. Okay, this is the one that you've stamped with your flower. When you glue this down, you're going to just put this first score line at the edge of your Daffodil Delight. Okay, so you're just going to glue that piece right down there, and then all you have to do is close it. It'll fold like this, and like this. And then when you open this piece, you'll just glue the back of this and then close this over it. I can't show you how to do that. This card does not lay flat in any way except for the way it's supposed to be. So I must have not scored this very well because it's not folding as straight as it should. So you just sort of force it to where you want it to be and then use your bone folder. But I think you'll figure it out. Basically, the important part is just learning where to put this front flap right on this fold, and the rest of it will fall into place. Okay. I think that's it. That's where I'm going to stop anyways, because otherwise I won't get this out to you at all.